Warzone has been the biggest thing to ever happen to COD, and it was completely unplanned to grow to the size it has. And for that, the game faces some huge problems that most people won't realize, and in return, eventually, Activision would have to make a new Warzone game, and after the recent news earlier this week, that is exactly what's going to happen. So earlier this week, it was reported by Bloomberg that there would be a next iteration of Warzone coming next year in 2023. This practically just means Warzone 2 is coming out, which is something that needed to happen. And you might be wondering why it's necessary for Warzone 2 to come out, and to that, there are several reasons why Activision would eventually have to release a new Warzone. The main one is that the Warzone we have now is literally just Modern Warfare 2019. When you play Warzone now, you're still playing on that Modern Warfare application, regardless of whatever platform you're on. It's the reason why on new-gen consoles you see that Warzone is a PS4 or Xbox One version of the game. Same with PC. It technically loads up as Modern Warfare and the application's name is literally Modern Warfare on PC. It might not seem that way because Activision has practically rebranded Modern Warfare 2019 as Warzone, but it's still that Modern Warfare API regardless, and that's where the problem comes in. The game you're playing is a 3-year-old game and is constantly getting updated, which is bringing problems to not only Warzone, but Modern Warfare. The reason why Modern Warfare is so broken right now is because of Warzone and because those two are the same thing. That's why there needs to be a separate Warzone app and in return, Warzone 2. This would let Warzone exist in its own world and not bring nearly as many problems as the game has now. It would also allow the devs to work on the game better because the engine would be created to be constantly updated. Now, I'm not any game developer or anything, so I could be completely wrong here, but I'm assuming working on a 3-year-old title that wasn't supposed to be updated and worked on constantly like this is a huge pain to do. And this is also the reason why there's probably no Console Fov Slider right now. So putting Warzone on the separate app would not only allow Console Fov to be a thing, but would also allow the devs to work on the game easier. This would also allow the game to be updated to new-gen consoles and have better performance and graphics because currently, Warzone isn't designed for new-gen consoles, which is why there are so many performance issues right now. There's also the problem of the game being too big. Most people won't realize it, but the game can only get so big until the size of the game is just too much. Right now, Warzone is I think around 100 gigabytes, and that's because of all the content in the game. You have weapons and skins from 3 years worth of CODs. It's a lot, and the game can only have so much before it becomes a problem. So I would assume that this new Warzone would just be a fresh new start. Pretty much like when Warzone first came out, just with the current game's weapons and maps. And this is even further proved by known leaker Tom Henderson, who said that Warzone 2 is exactly that. A new fresh start for new-gen consoles and has no previous weapon integration. This also brings some other problems though, and some pretty big problems as well. The main one is for the people that bought stuff for Warzone and in the store. Supposing that this new Warzone is a fresh new start with zero integration from previous CODs, that means the people who bought stuff from the past 3 years, all their stuff is useless, from skins to blueprints, all pretty much useless. Only playable on older CODs and that old Warzone. And while I'm personally fine with this because I haven't bought anything from the store, I can see the problem for other people. And this is also the new era of COD players. And what I mean by that is that before in older CODs, you could buy tons of stuff and it could only be used for that COD. And once that COD died off, that was it. You never touched that stuff again. For example, BO2 weapon packs. I have almost all the buyable camos you could get in BO2, and I haven't touched them in almost a decade, and I also don't care. But now for this, people are going to make the most noise about this and complain constantly about Warzone not being able to have their old stuff in the game, and honestly rightfully so, but I just know there's going to be some big controversy with this, and there might even be some legal aspects with this as well. I'm no lawyer or anything, but this could be potentially a huge problem for Activision, and I know Activision knows this would be a problem eventually. Going back to the game getting too big where eventually they would have to do a fresh new start or just vault previous content. This problem would eventually come, and I'm a little curious on how they're going to handle it. There's also the problem that most Warzone players are casual people that don't care enough to download another Warzone app as well. That's just too much work for them, and it's going to look bad when the Warzone players counts go down by a couple of million people. And once again, Activision knows that people are lazy and won't download a whole new Warzone app, so again, I'm curious on how they'll handle it. Do they just take their L and move on, or will they unforcibly force people to download the new Warzone. And by that, I just mean like when you load up Warzone now, the game won't let you play unless you download the new Warzone app. And even so, people are going to see that and just hang up the sticks on Warzone and move on to other games. It's just interesting to theorize how they'll go about this new Warzone though. Overall though, a new Warzone sounds great because it gives them a new start to make things better, and it will finally give console players their FOV slider and better performance. And it also allows the game to run better because it's not on a 3-year-old game that wasn't designed for this. Let me know what you think of Warzone 2 in the comments below, and if you're excited, or if you don't care, or what you want to see from the new game. If you did enjoy the video though, make sure not to leave without leaving a like and subscribing for more. But until next time, see ya.